The following program has been pre-recorded. Welcome to Co-op Community Partners Chat here on Co-op Radio, the place to learn about the many nonprofit organizations in the greater Austin area that provide the unique opportunities and services that support our thriving community here in the capital of Texas. The views expressed here are not necessarily the views of Co-op Radio or its board of directors, volunteers, staff, or underwriters.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Co-op Community Partners Chat on Co-op 91.7 FM Austin and streaming live at koop.org. We are well into our second season of KCPC, and as our listeners have hopefully gathered by now, KCPC has joined the Austin Cooperative Hour collective of programming, now in its third season in the Thursday 1 to 2 p.m. time slot here at Co-op. I'm Nora Redfern alongside my co-host Michelle Manning-Scott. For those of you who may be listening to Co-op Community Partners Chat for the first time, our program provides a platform for Austin area nonprofit organizations who have chosen to partner with Co-op by joining our Community Organization Partner Program. Interested organizations are given the opportunity to come on this program to highlight the mission, the work they do, and the programs they provide to the Austin area community at large.
Today we are speaking with Michael Griffith, Executive Director and Board Trustee, and alum Gloria Perez from Breakthrough Central Texas, the leading college access and success nonprofit here in Central Texas. Welcome to the program, Gloria and Michael.
Thank you so much for having us.
We like to start our program normally with our guests by having them introduce themselves in however way they like to do so. So maybe your professional, your personal backgrounds that might be relevant to what we're going to be talking about today. Anything you're comfortable, sharing with our listeners. So Michael, would you like to go first?
Well, thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you, Nora. My name is Michael Griffith. I'm honored to be the Executive Director for Breakthrough Central Texas. I've been a part of the Breakthrough community for 17 years and about 10 years as an educator prior, so more than 25 years as an educator here in Austin area. And maybe more importantly for today, I've been a very long time listener to Co-op. I've been born and raised in Austin and listening ever since, especially in my college years at UT, and really grateful for what y'all do for the community. Grateful to be here.
Great.
Gloria, would you like to share?
Yeah, I am Gloria Perez. I am a Breakthrough board member, Breakthrough alumni, and I graduated from St. Edward's in 2017.
Well, let's dive into what Breakthrough is, what it does, who you guys serve, a background on history of Breakthrough itself.
Thank you so much. So Breakthrough started in 2002. At the time, the mission was to support students who would be the first in their families to go to college. And we started with middle schoolers, and 41 brave students were the very first students we ever served, and we supported them from Austin ISD, sixth graders from all across the district, and gave them an opportunity to come and participate in a really high-quality summer program and then get support throughout the school year. From there, we just started helping them year after year and learning from their experiences as young people going through the school system, trying to figure out how to do our best to support them every step of the way. Eventually, we got more students to come in the program and kept listening and learning from our students and decided to really follow their lead and build a program that supports them to not only go to college to be the first to go, but be the first in their family to graduate from college. So we've grown a lot over the years, and now we're serving 3,700 students, young people across Central Texas.
Wow.
In grades from sixth grade all the way through middle school, high school, and then into college, up to age 24. We're really honored to work alongside them and support them. Again, all of them aspiring to do something really incredible, be the first in their families to cross the graduation stage.
Is it always at that sixth grade starting point?
There's two ways to get in the program now. One thing we did a few years ago in 2020, we expanded our program to allow students to come in a different way. we started working with an entire school, one school out in Manor called Manor New Tech High School, and then now another school within Austin ISD called Eastside Early College High School. And 11th graders join our program at those two locations, and we support every single student in the school, help them identify where they're heading off to college, what are they doing, what's their plan after high school, and then they can also join our program after high school and continue with us until they reach a degree or a certificate. So 2 ways to come in now.
So a student who has not joined previously can still join even late in their high school?
That's right. If they're attending those 2 schools, they can join us through the school-wide program. So we have 2 really great ways to come in as a young person, a middle schooler or an 11th grader in high school.
How do you choose those students? How do you identify?
Yeah, so we work within Austin, Manor, and Del Valle ISD, really proud to partner with those 3 districts. And we go and talk to middle schools all across those districts, and we ask if you are aspiring to go to college, be the first in your family to take that step. Here's a simple application. Talk to your family, complete this step, and then join our community. It's absolutely free to join our program. We provide out-of-school learning and advising services. Sometimes we also bribe the students with pizza after school so that they really come and learn about
that
what
always
we do.
Works.
It does help when you're 12 to come and learn about what we do. It's a very simple application process. The only requirement is that you are the first in your family to graduate college. And when you join, we really do a good job of making our programs exciting and helpful to students. Sometimes it's still the mom or someone in the house pushing them onto the bus to get to our programs, but students keep coming back and wanting the support. And as we go further and further along, our services become more helpful for students as they start to make their plans after high school, figure out where they're going to college, and then ultimately find a career that they can really benefit from.
Gloria, what was your story in this process then? Where did you come in and how did you benefit? Give us a mini report of how you engaged with this program and got involved.
So I first heard about Breakthrough when I was in 6th grade at Keeling Middle School, and they were having a sort of pizza party for us to learn more about Breakthrough.
Pizza, it works.
Yep. And that's one of the first things that drew me in. So a couple of my friends and I were like, well, I mean, we can go get pizza and hear about what this thing is. And I decided to apply. And my friends and I, there was a group of us who were all very excited when we got in because we would be able to see each other over the summer to like get to do fun things together outside of school. And that was really one of the first things that drew us in. College is not something that was spoken about in my household growing up. My mom always thought that education was very important. But my mom got her GED when I was in middle school, high school. And to her, it was really important that I went to college. And once I started Breakthrough, I kind of didn't know any different. I didn't know that there's people out there who really don't ever think about going to college because it was so ingrained in everything that we were doing all of this because we wanted to see the success of attending and graduating from college. And for me personally, it really helped that I was in that environment with people who already were my friends, and I was making new friends also from outside of my school. So it really just opened up a lot of opportunities, but also barriers that were previously there, where if you grew up in an environment where people don't talk about college, where other people don't have similar goals, it's not something that you really see yourself doing. But when you're in a space like a Breakthrough Summer program where you are being taught by college students, where everybody around you, our ultimate goal is to go to college, it really becomes different and it really helps your mindset change. Maybe this is something that I'm going to do to like, no, this is something that I can do and it's accessible to me. And this program is going to help me do that.
Just by the fact that you were participating in it, did other kids around you that weren't wonder about it and want to also get involved? Were you a selling point for the program? She has pizza. How can I join in?
Yeah, I remember a lot of kids going for the pizza. And after that, Breakthrough had an office on 7th Street. And after the summertime, when we were back to regular school, one of the things that they started doing was office hours, where you had a space that you could go to work on your homework, to hang out with your friends. And lucky for us, we were able to walk there from Keeling. So there was a group of us who would stop by Eastside Pies on the way and walk over. And people wondered, where are they going? What are they doing? And it was just a really nice, fun environment to get to hang out. But you were always learning. You were always meeting new people. We did homework with students that didn't even go to our school. So it was nice to see just the diversity that was also included in the office.
That's interesting. Peer pressure. It goes a long way.
When I was reading over things on the website, you mentioned the successes of the program and the numbers of 96% of our students achieved this, as opposed to so much percent of their peers that did not. And I was thinking, well, that seems like a no-brainer then. Why is this program not for everybody? Why aren't the schools doing more of this? So how come? What's keeping those 34% that are not succeeding breakthrough students? How can those students be reached?
I really appreciate that question. Breakthrough is essentially working on a theory that if we provided a little bit of extra support to young people, that young people are growing up in Austin right now, going to our schools, graduating high school, aspiring for dreams for themselves and their families. If we provided a little bit of extra support, remarkable outcomes can be achieved. Right now in the state of Texas, in this region, we're perpetually creating our own problem of underinvesting and under-resourcing what students and families and schools could most benefit from. And Breakthrough's designed to be that extra on top, not to replace the school day, not to replace what's happening that's really wonderful in the classroom, but to be that adjunct on top. So we offer great out-of-school time learning. It's really beautiful programs in the summer where you are learning math, science, social studies, and English. You're taking part in physical education. You're going on field trips. It's basically school, but we call it a program. We trick them and make it really fun, but it really is extending the amount of learning that young people are getting. And on top of that, we offer these same out-of-school time learning in the school year, after school, like Gloria mentioned, and also on Saturdays. And cumulatively, you're really learning a lot. And you're also building this community that says, it's possible to go to college. I can do it. I know I might be the first in my family, and that's daunting, but I have all these other people around me, a lot of other Glorias who are going to make it. So we're all on the train together. And on top of all that learning, we're providing advising to our students. We have trained professional staff who work as additional counselors or advisors to young people. And right now in our state, our ratio of counselors to students in our high schools and middle schools is way too high a ratio. There's about one counselor for more than 400 young people in our schools. And so students go through long stretches of time without talking to an adult in the school setting about what their plans are. How are they going to overcome their obstacles? How are you going to get advice? And this, frankly, is just a choice we've made to underinvest in our schools. It causes those who have had the legacy of college in their family or can afford to go and experience going to college visits or get that extra support, SAT prep or test prep or a tutor. They just have advantages. And I, as a parent myself, I have 3 kiddos in Austin ISD right now. I support every family who's trying to get the best for their students. It's not the fault of anyone who's going and hiring a tutor or trying to put them in the best school. But you're right, Nora, every single student deserves the best. And Breakthrough's working on a theory of how to offer that. And that's how we believe it should be offered. Out-of-school learning, an additional amount of support academically, and also building community and going to college, and along with this really high-quality advice. With those 2 things in place, you get remarkable outcomes. Our students are, credit to them because they're the ones doing all the hard work, but they're incredible. Their outcomes are remarkable. Breakthrough has proven in 23 years, if you do this, you level the playing field, that our students, who are all first gen, they're coming from our low-income communities in Austin area, they're graduating at the same rates as the most affluent students within our region, those who have a legacy of college. It's a level playing field, which is the way it should be, right? We all know talent and opportunity is equally dispersed amongst the Austin area. Everyone wants and desires education. If you add these extra resources, it really does level the playing field. So to your question, what should we be doing? When anybody asks me that question, I say, invest in our schools. Let's advocate for more counselors, more resources within schools. Let's provide opportunities for young people to experience really high quality out-of-school learning and support. Let's make it possible for every young, talented, and committed person to get the dream they deserve and for themselves and their family.
It's not looking very good as far as the recent decision on school vouchers, and in AISD, some schools will be closing.
The consolidations, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, from Breakthrough's perspective, we are taking a step backwards in policies that support all young Texans. we believe that we should be collectively deciding as a state to do more for young people, to remove barriers instead of adding to them. Our public schools started over a century ago and were the model for the entire world on how to build a high-quality, free and accessible education for young people. If you look at the history of the United States, it perhaps was the single greatest driver of social mobility and economic growth in this country for decades. And the decision to take away from that and to look at efforts to privatize it or allow private education to be the mainstay, it definitely is a step backwards. So we advocate strongly for our public schools, and we believe fundamentally in them, and we invite anyone who cares about public schools to learn more about how to get involved, how to support. Every school district in our area has an education fund that supports the district. You can learn more about them. Go and find out from Austin ISD or Manor or Del Valle or Round Rock, wherever you are in the Central Texas area. There's lots of ways to support them and get involved.
So let's take a station break, but when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with our guests. Michael Griffith, Executive Director and Board Trustee, and alum Gloria Perez from Breakthrough Central Texas, the leading college access and success nonprofit here in Central Texas. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Co-op Community Partners Chat on Co-op Radio 91.7 FM and streaming worldwide at koop.org. I'm Nora, here with my co-host Michelle, and we're continuing our chat with guest Michael Griffith, Executive Director and Board Trustee, and alum Gloria Perez from Breakthrough Central Texas, the leading college access and success nonprofit in Central Texas.
So we left the discussion talking a little bit about the barriers to education equity that exist here in Texas. And I also wanted to bring into the conversation the types of support that Breakthrough provides to the students that are in its program to overcome those barriers, be they through high school or on into college, things like financial assistance, the exact mode and modality of the counseling that you offer to both the middle school, the high school, and also college students, which we haven't even started to get into that discussion.
Yeah, I can start out. The challenges that young people face in the education system in Texas are significant. The older you progress through the system, the more challenges you're likely to face. Our system is designed to have these major transition points. You go from elementary to middle school to high school to post-secondary, which has a lot of different forms, whether that's community college or a four-year university or a certificate program. So much choice. The older you get, it can be overwhelming. The data is pretty clear that there is a waterfall effect. What happens is that young people enter kindergarten, and as the years progress, you start to see gaps widen, with the widening happening at an accelerated rate the older you get. So there's many ways to intervene and support young people and try to make that gap close to where, again, talent's equally dispersed, that our outcome should be equally dispersed. And what we see is that the barriers really come in most significantly in the secondary and post-secondary years. You start to see young people really start to develop an identity of I'm college bound or I'm not. They start to have very different coursework they're taking, advanced coursework, college level coursework that supports their certificate after high school or not. Then you start to see people pursuing things after high school. A lot of young people start and then most don't finish some form of post-secondary education. In our region, there's about a third, a little over 30% of young people earn a college degree or a certificate by age 24. But if you're a low-income part of our community, if you happen to be from our low-income community in Central Texas, it's only about 14% compared to a significantly higher, well over 60% from our most affluent communities. So that gap is just really, really difficult to tackle. What we see is the unequal learning, the difficulty in accessing high-quality information so you can understand which college or post-secondary program to go for and how you afford it and how do you stick with it. There's such different levels of understanding how to do that. So, at a high level, it's hard for everybody, and it really is. Again, I'm a dad. It's going to be hard for my kiddos too, and I've studied this problem a lot. But if you happen to be the first to try, where you don't have someone you can readily turn to in your household to say, what do I do here? They've never done it. And if you, on top of that, happen to be facing financial barriers where you're really making an economic choice, do I pursue this? It's got a cost. It's going to take away from my ability to earn income, or do I not? Then you're not going to be able to pursue. So Breakthrough works on these challenges at every level. In middle school, we really help students build their academic success and their identity as, I can do this. Yeah, I can be the first in my family. In high school, we really start to work on how do you actually apply? What are the steps? How do you get the financial aid? We help you complete all of that. Alongside their counselors at school, we really make it possible to fill out every application you want and find your path. And then once you're out of high school, we stick with it to help you persist. Every year, you got to redo those financial aid forms. You got to understand what your program is, your choices, and how do you stay in it. Or if you're trying to transfer to a new institution, how do you do that? And we're with them every step of the way. On top of all of that, our students, like any young person within Central Texas, has other things that are going on in their life outside of school. They're trying to make their family's finances work. They have pressures to support their family or be a babysitter or earn money for themselves or their mom. They're going to encounter challenges like growing up and what does it mean to be an adult, to experience hard things, mental health challenges, whatever it is that's coming their way. Those are real things that impact your education. So Breakthrough also works on that. We support students to access resources in the community, and sometimes we provide them ourselves to get counseling, to get access to basic needs support, to stay housed and healthy and happy so they can continue to learn. And that's where our financial assistance and support for our students come in. We have a dedicated student and family support fund, and sometimes it's just a little bit of extra. You need a little gas money so you can still go to Texas State University, or you have a hold on your account. You need to really clear it so you can register for classes. So we do that too. We provide this holistic support. Our advising that our staff offers is critical to all of this so that our students and their families are informed about what to do, what next steps to take, and how to continue year after year after year. And students tell us, and our graduates tell us over and over again, that that advice and support meant everything. It's like having another caring adult who's with you, a champion, a family member, and someone who just genuinely believed you can do it. And our students are demonstrating it is possible. 60% of our students are earning a degree by age 24. And that really is, again, leveling the playing field. It's really inspiring. And so in my time, 17 years now, I've had the true honor of getting to know so many young people at age 12 or 13 and 10, 12 years later, see them accomplish this and cross the graduation stage or earn that certificate. Usually there's like a lot of other people there, their moms, grandmas, like the whole family's there and there's tears. I've been lucky enough to be a part of that. And then I get to see these amazing careers that they take. Many of them work with me now. Some of them are my bosses, like Gloria's a trustee in her board, and she's now my boss, which is weird because I used to see her as a middle school. But it's just really an honor to see that. And that's essentially what we do to help students overcome their barriers. I mean, Gloria lived this experience and knows so many who did too. She could tell you more about exactly what we do.
The counselors, when it's possible, do the counselors that these students are assigned when they're in middle school, do they follow them all the way through?
Yeah, sometimes our advisors stick with students for many years. We do have advisors who are experts at the middle school age, because it's a funny age being a middle schooler and working with them as an adult, and then experts at the high school years, and then experts at being young adults. So there are these transitions, but Breakthrough becomes itself a through line for young people. Our students tell us, I know I got a new advisor, but they were from Breakthrough and I trusted them out of the gate. And that trusting relationship that gets passed along is really important.
You want to talk about your experience, Gloria?
Yeah. So I still hold relationships with some of those advisors that I had when I was in Breakthrough. One of my first memories of having an advisor really kind of impact a choice that I made is when I was moving from middle school to high school. At the time, the high school that I was going to was offering transfers to lots of other high schools because they just weren't in a great state. And I toured a couple of different high schools. And initially, I wanted to go to Anderson. But then I went to Austin High, and I really liked their cafeteria. And after seeing Austin High School, I'm going to go here. This cafeteria is great. I want to eat here with my friends. Some of my friends are going
criteria.
Did they have pizza?
They had a lot of things. Yeah, I remember being so excited about it. And when I told my advisor, like, hey, actually, I think my transfer should be to Austin High instead of Anderson, they had me try to justify why. And really the only reasoning for me was the cafeteria. And they had to talk me out of that. At that point, my mind was made up. I wanted to go to Austin High. My advisor kind of reminded me why I was choosing the high school that I was choosing and what was important about it for me, which was they had an international baccalaureate program that I wanted to be a part of at Anderson, which he kind of had to take me and talk some reasoning into me. And it really impacted the choice that I made. And ultimately, Anderson ended up being a great high school. And throughout my time there, I was also connected to other resources via Breakthrough. Like I had a mentor who helped me with my college essays that would come see me at school, somebody that I met through Breakthrough who wanted to be able to, support me in writing those essays. Because English is my second language, my grammar wasn't always the best. And this is somebody that I could work with, outside at the Breakthrough office, but also during the school time, they were just a Breakthrough volunteer who was taking time out of their day to come and see me, as well as my advisor, who was helping me figure out SATs, ACTs, getting a voucher for those was going to work, where I was going to go take these tests. I remember there was one time an advisor, several of us in my friend group had the same advisor who actually drove us to San Marcos to take an SAT test. I grew up with a single mom. My mom had to work 3 jobs. I have 2 other siblings. So she couldn't always be there to, help me make all of the things. But my advisor really stepped in, and the several advisors that I've had throughout the years really stepped in to make sure that I was able to, access that I needed to those things. And they really tore down a lot of those barriers. And they helped advise me through college. When I was struggling in college, kind of figuring out what major I should pick and why, they were really there for me, helping me figure out how to register for classes. Nobody tells you that to graduate college on time, you don't just take the minimum amount of credits every semester. So having Breakthrough advise me along the way, and like the advisors that I had, was really impactful in making a lot of the choices that I did. But it also opened up a lot of opportunities for me with things like getting an internship. Along with the different services that Breakthrough offers, they also provided a lot of opportunities and like partnering local companies. And this is how I've met some now friends and mentors of mine to this day, because through a program that Breakthrough had, I was able to find a paid internship when I was in college. So a lot of the services that they had, I tried to make sure I could take advantage of, but they were really instrumental to getting me to where I am today.
What impact has that had on your family and siblings? What you've done, what you've achieved?
So me being in Breakthrough inspired my mom to go back and get her GED. That was one of the first things. It also inspired one of my brothers to attend college. He hasn't graduated, and that's okay. His path was a little bit different, but it inspired him to even just try go to college in the first place. And now I'm in a position in my life where I can do things like give back to Breakthrough, both financially and with my time. And I don't think I would be where I am at today without everything that Breakthrough has given me the chance to do.
Can you talk a little bit about who the advisors are and partnering with AmeriCorps?
Yeah, the Breakthrough staff is the most dedicated nonprofit education staff you'll find. There are 108 of us who office in our office in East 5th Street, and most of us are advisors. The vast majority are those who go into schools and work directly with young people. Our advisors are trained professionals, or they come to us as AmeriCorps volunteers. Our trained professionals have had roles prior to joining Breakthrough, ranging from being a teacher to a social worker to counselors to being administrators in schools. Really incredible set of background and expertise. Many of them, in fact, the majority, are also first-generation college graduates themselves. So they're bringing that shared experience in working with young people and saying, I did it, you can do it, let's talk about this, we're going to figure this out. Our AmeriCorps members, we have an amazing group of 30 AmeriCorps members who work with us year-round. They are part of that team.
I should have asked this question before. For people who don't know, can you kind of just briefly say who AmeriCorps is and how they come to partner with you guys?
Yeah, so AmeriCorps is the national service movement in the United States, much like Peace Corps, but within the United States. It's a program run by the federal government to invest in the idea of extended service, of giving back to your community. There are many, many AmeriCorps programs in Central Texas and across Texas, where a person, typically young, but not all, there's also senior corps and other ways for across age spectrum to get involved. And I have time to think about engaging in service for a summer, for an entire year, for a different length of time. You do get paid in this extended service. It's meant to offset your living costs. So we definitely pay our members and support them to find a way to be sustaining here in Austin. But we're proud to be able to partner with the AmeriCorps program and support so many people alongside a lot of other programs across the state.
Have you been partners with AmeriCorps since the inception of Breakthrough? Is that something you guys did after you officially started?
We started as an AmeriCorps program in 2011. So we're coming up on 15 years of being an official AmeriCorps program. It really was a tipping point. We decided we were looking to grow and expand, take on more students within our districts. And we were getting a lot of people wanting to come and join us and give back and support and engage in volunteerism. And those two things came together in that year, and we decided to give it a go. And we've been here ever since, and now we're a very, very large AmeriCorps program. Our AmeriCorps members, they are typically a young professional coming not too far out of their own education experience, having recently graduated college themselves. And the vast majority of them are also first-generation college graduates, and a number of them are actually breakthrough graduates. They were in the program, much like Gloria was back when they were 12, and then made their way through the program, and now they get to advise younger.
It's a family.
That's right. There is a bit of joy in seeing this cycle of lifting while you climb, of seeing people come into this and say, I want to give back. And so whether or not you're an AmeriCorps member or a volunteer in extended service with us for a year or professional staff, we're all learning how to do this work together. We invest heavily in training and developing each other and building a culture that is joyful to work at, hard work, but also really sustainable for everyone, and really getting a chance to do the core work, which is getting to know your advisees, the young people, whether they're middle school, high school, or college aged. Know them and their families. Relationships are at the core of our advising work, and we train each other what that means and that philosophy and how to build that rapport. Because when you develop a trusting relationship with a young person, and that moment of needing to provide the guidance, that technical expertise of how do you transfer to an institution, how do you appeal when you lost your financial aid, how do you change a major when one course was just too much. That information is only really taken if you trust the person delivering it. If you don't know them well, it can just be whatever. You might as well go read it on the internet. Our motto is to develop trusting relationship with people over and over again, and then be there at the moment when they're trying to make a difficult choice so that they can take that information and push forward. So all of us on staff are really trained in that. There's one other group I'd really love to shout out, which is in the summer, we expand our team a lot. We hire, Gloria mentioned this a little bit, we hire 120 college-aged fellows. They're AmeriCorps members as well, who come to us and serve as teaching fellows. They teach in our middle school program, so they come from all over the country and spend 9 weeks with us. 6 of those weeks, they're directly teaching breakthrough students. The rest of the time, they're in training about how to be a teacher. It's a teacher preparatory program that's really powerful and amazing. It also just happens to propel our youngest students forward academically. They're given a classroom, they teach English or math or science or social studies, and they're really well trained and supported. And these 120 fellows really make a huge difference for our young people. Collectively, it's a big team we got, and we're growing because we're serving 3,700 students. And by the end of the decade, as we go into 2030, we're going to nearly double that. We're going to be closer to 6,000 students we're serving. And so we're going to be adding a lot more talent to our team. They come from all over, many from Breakthrough themselves, but also from education and nonprofit circles all over the place.
I still have a lingering question about where the actual work takes place. Gloria mentioned walking to the office with her friends. Does the teaching happen on the campuses that are participating? Does it happen at the Breakthrough office?
Great question. Breakthrough services happen mostly at the campuses they're attending. If you're at a K-12 school within Manor ISD, Austin, or Del Valley, we are going to your school to advise you directly in the school time. Or working with you out of school, you come to our out-of-school program right there on a campus that you attend. In the summer, we partner with Manor ISD to identify a great spot to host our summer program somewhere in the district, with Del Valley ISD to host it there. And then for Austin ISD students, they attend 2 different locations. We're really proud to partner with the University of Texas. That's actually our original site where we started in 2002. We partner with the College of Liberal Arts and the College of Education to host our program there every single summer. And then we also partner with St. Andrew's Episcopal School, who opens up their doors for us down on Southwest Parkway to host one of our other sites. If you're a college student, we're coming to your college. If you're in the Central Texas area, Texas State or Houston Tillotson or UT, ACC, we're coming to your campus. And we have hundreds of students at those campuses, so we're there a lot every single day. But if you've moved out of our region to go somewhere to a college or university or certificate program, we are still trying to see you at least once a semester physically in person to help you feel comfortable and adjusted to wherever you're attending anywhere in the state of Texas. And the rest of the time, it's virtual advising. We're in contact with you on Zoom or on phone, by text. We're just staying in contact with you and supporting you every step of the way. And if you're outside of the state, because we have a lot who are outside the state too, we're staying in touch with you at the same frequency, but it's more virtual.
Because they started here and then went off to school wherever.
We have students who go up to the Northeast to go to college, or California. They're all over the place, and we continue to support them. The experience, whether you're going far away or local, you're often encountering a lot of the same barriers and challenges financially and belonging and understanding how it all works. And so our advising services just shift in format, but it's still the same core stuff. Strong relationships with high quality guidance.
And I didn't really get that you were a part of a national breakthrough collaborative. So can you talk a little bit about the interaction there? Yeah,
Breakthrough Central Texas is one of 25 affiliates around the country that are part of the Breakthrough Collaborative. There's 24 others, 2 in Texas, and then the rest are all scattered throughout cities across the nation. Collectively, there's about 10,000 students that are being served across the collaborative, and about 3,700 are right here in Austin.
Let's take another station break at this point, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with our guests, Michael Griffith, Executive Director and Board Trustee, and alum Gloria Perez from Breakthrough Central Texas, the leading college access and success nonprofit in Central Texas. We'll be right back. And we're back. If you are just joining us, this is Co-op Community Partners Chat on Co-op 91.7 FM and streaming at coop.org. I'm Michelle, alongside my co-host Nora. Today, we are speaking with Michael Griffith, Executive Director and Board Trustee, and alum Gloria Perez with Breakthrough Central Texas, the leading college access and success nonprofit here in Central Texas. So for this part of the discussion, we wanted to talk about the Pathways campaign and the impact that it will have on the students in this region. And so can both of you talk a little bit about what that is and what you hope to accomplish with it?
The Pathways to Opportunity campaign is a chance for the entire community to invest and support this nonprofit, along with the students and families that we work with and the schools they attend, through a dedicated campaign to grow our services, to serve a lot more students. It's an accelerator fund to help us enroll each year 600 more students into our program, or 3,000 more students by the end of the decade, for us to nearly double in size and provide that many more pathways to opportunity, hence the name. We're looking to support students to come in, get benefit from our services from in middle school or high school, and go all the way until they realize their definition of college success, whether that's a 4-year diploma, an associate's degree, a certificate. We're going to invest in the staff and resources those young people deserve, alongside the schools they attend, to make that all possible. It's a really exciting opportunity for us to do our part to make this place become the very best place for education as a young person.
The Pathways to Opportunity campaign is really going to make it possible for Breakthrough to serve even more students than they are right now. I know the question came up earlier, why is Breakthrough limited to the students that it serves? And this would make it possible for it to, be accessible to that many more students. Because let's be honest, one of the things that Breakthrough's doing by having advisors is making sure that we're keeping that advisor to student ratio at a good place so that those advisors aren't overwhelmed and students are receiving the best support that they can. And this would allow Breakthrough to have the funds to hire more advisors so that they can advise even more students and support more students.
I want to just add, I think one way to think about what the Pathways to Opportunity campaign is really about, it's about the entire community of Central Texas coming together and saying, we want to invest in young people. We want this place to become great at supporting those who year after year just aren't realizing the success that they desire and deserve. Right now in Central Texas, we only have about 14% of our low-income students earning a college degree by age 24. And that matters so much because if you don't have some form of post-secondary success, a certificate or a diploma, the odds of earning a living wage in this area is very low. This campaign has a chance to change that, to change the outcome for an entire community, to make it possible for thousands more young people to earn success and to really change that trajectory for our entire community year after year.
What do our listeners need to know about that campaign and being involved in that?
We are now in the public phase of this campaign. We're telling everybody about what's happening and how this can impact so many young people. So if you want to learn more, you can go to our website. You'll see information about how to get involved and how to learn more. We welcome any questions about this campaign and how to participate in it and how to join in the Breakthrough community and support.
And what's the website? And if there's any social media that's pertinent that people should know about, what are those?
Yes, the website is breakthroughctx.org/pathways, and you can find it all right there.
Social medias?
Yeah, our social media handle is @BreakthroughCTX, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn.
Great.
Do you plan any other events related to the campaign?
Yeah, we have a wonderful event coming up, and it'll be on October 30th. It's called the Breakthrough Benefit Concert. It's a really fun, energetic time to get together. The whole community comes out. People give testimony about their breakthrough experience and then listen to some great music and have a great time. So we'd love to have you come out. Again, that's on October 30th. You can find that info on our website as well.
Who's the band that's going to be playing at the event?
The band is going to be Bidi Bidi Banda, and they are a local, Austin band, and they're also a Selena cover band.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
It's going to be super fun.
One other thing I wanted to ask is also, since you are a member, Gloria, of the board of directors, is that something that's an opportunity that's available to people here in Austin and the community around us to become part of? And how would they do that?
Yeah. So I have served on the board for about a year and a half now, and I was invited to be on the board by an existing board member. But we are constantly hosting events for people to learn more about Breakthrough and show that they want to be involved with Breakthrough. There are things like Breakthrough behind the scenes. So if anybody's interested in learning more about Breakthrough, they can, through our website, learn more about when those events are hosted. It also gives them a chance to hear from students, hear from Breakthrough staff, and try and get involved in that way. But typically, the way that somebody can end up being on the board is showing an interest in Breakthrough, learning more about it, volunteering potentially at some of the events. I have seen Breakthrough board members come to events, volunteer, show that they want to be involved and that they want to learn more about Breakthrough, and then eventually end up being on the board via showing their interest in the organization.
And so if somebody is interested maybe in starting this pathway and wants to get more involved with Breakthrough, then what's the best way they can do that?
Well, I think the best way would be to get in touch with us and come and, like Gloria said, attend one of our programs and get to know us. You can email us at info@breakthroughctx.org, or you can just look on our website. There's a clear place to volunteer and start getting involved. You can meet our staff, some of our other trustees, and we'll plug you in. Our board of trustees is an incredibly important group of volunteers. We have up to 24 who are serving every year, and we welcome community members to support in that way.
I can also add that throughout the year, Breakthrough is having different events also for students. And so I have been a volunteer where learning from students, for example, what they did during their summer program, and the students are giving us what they call presentations of learning, teaching us about everything that they've learned during the summer. So there's a lot of opportunities for community members to be involved and to volunteer at Breakthrough. And it's really neat to see it. I will say, as an alumni and now as a board member and somebody who's been involved with Breakthrough for so long, at one of the events that I was at earlier this year, I walked away just feeling so inspired by what the students were saying. It was students doing mock interviews, and there was folks from, surrounding companies that took their staff to volunteer there. And after the event, I was talking with some of the Breakthrough staff, and I just kind of stopped and I was like, these students are our future. Like, holy moly. They're so impressive. And that Breakthrough staff member told me, that's how I felt about y'all whenever I first started Breakthrough.
Wow.
So it's really neat to be on the opposite side and see, even though I know about how Breakthrough runs its programs, about what it does for the community, it's really cool to be on the other side and see the students that we're actually serving.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It was great to learn more.
For joining us today.
Yeah, well, thank you all for what you do to shine a light on nonprofits like us. It really means a difference to the community to be able to hear about what we do and other nonprofits too, to make Austin a better place.
And thank you for being one of our partners.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.